What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of 100 Hours Club. I am your host, Nestor P. I hope everybody out there is having a wonderful day, a wonderful night whenever this catches your attention. I just hope that you're in the best of health. I just hope that you're in the best of life. And, you know, I I'm pretty sure everybody has heard about if you're part of the football, if you like football, if you don't like football, I just think anybody in general has heard about the football player that was signed to the Cowboys, Marshawn Nealon. Um, I I didn't see all the game, but I know he made a play. I think he ended up picking up the ball when the Cowboys blocked the punt, and he ended up scoring. And to hear about what was going on and to hear about what happened, man, I it's a trip because you could have money, you could have particular things, you could have nice things, you could have a lot of what you want, but I guess when the feelings hurt, the feelings hurt. And as men, I don't think we necessarily take our mental health very serious. And some people do, and the people that do take their mental health serious, they kind of get like talked down on, you know what I mean? Like me, I was born in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s, so I've seen everything from, like it wasn't about, oh, you're hurt or you're this, like, oh my god, let me hold you. Nah, I was like toughen the fuck up, like toughen up. Like we don't do that shit here. I remember being young, just crying so many times, like just like crying, but ultimately crying to myself, like not really wanting to cry in like front of my family, in front of like my brothers, my mom, my dad. Like my mom wasn't really there. My brother took off when I was very young. So growing up, you learn like you grow up, you try to grow up and be as strong as possible. You know what I mean? You try to grow up and be that person that no one's gonna talk down to you. No one's gonna push your buttons. As you get older and as you experience life, it's one of those things that it's like you men go through a lot because ultimately if you're married, if you have kids, you got to be the breadwinner, you got to be the provider, you got to do so much when it comes to being in that position and being in that role. And not only being in that position, but when you go in the real life, you're still getting challenges. You're still getting people that want to test you. You're still getting things that are just testing you. You know what I mean? And I don't think we have this conversation that much. Like, I don't think I've ever really had a conversation with like my family about their mental health or my mental health. Like, I would always like text like my best friend. I would always just text people random. Like my cousin Bach would tell you, like, I would just text people like, "Hey man, I love you. Hope you're doing good." I remember one time I did that to my best friend Onofre. Shout out to Onofre. I did that to him, and he ended up texting my cousin like, "Hey, what's up with Ernest, man? Is he good? Like, I just got this text from him." And my cousin's like, "Nah, man, that's him. That's what he does. Like, he just sends random texts like that." And at that particular point, I had just lost someone very important in my life, and my mental health at that particular point was not the best way that I wanted. Like I got to the point where like my mom was like getting plots for me and getting ready, like not getting ready, but kind of just scared and just like worried about me. Like ever since I was a kid, I've gone through so much. Ever since I was young, I've had more heartbreaks than what I've had, like non-heartbreaks, but as I get older, the heartbreaks always stand out more than what the non-heartbreaks do. But you got to just kind of find where there's no heartbreak at. Like I'm not that person that's chasing what everybody else is chasing. I'm just really trying to be a really good father. I'm really trying to be a good husband. I'm trying to be a good person for myself. Like I'm not at the point And I think this is where men have to show, like, if you're around a group of friends and everybody's spending and everybody's doing this, you want to do that. And you want to be involved in the conversation. You want to be involved in what everybody's doing. And when you can't, it makes you feel like you shit. That's that's little stuff, right? Little stuff like that that just keep building and keep building and keep building. When you try to open up and people don't want to listen, then you look at it like, well, why am I going to open up? Why am I going to try to talk to someone? Why am I going to try to give somebody, why am I going to try to borrow somebody's shoulder if they don't even want to listen to me? And a lot of times too, like, I always tell people, like I could complain, but no one's going to listen. And if someone were to listen, why would I waste their time on that? Like, I've come a long way from where I was at like 10, 20 years ago. I've come a very long way. And what really gets me is, like, I've been out of San Antonio for like 20, like going on 20 years, man. Like, my place of employment, I've been there for like June, next June 2026, I'll be there 19 years. So I've pretty much been out of San Antonio for 20 years. And I chose that. Like, I didn't have nothing going for me in San Antonio. So I had an opportunity to come to San Marcos, and I went to San Marcos. And I think whenever I went through whatever I went through, if I didn't have my dog Jigga there, I think things would have been a whole lot worse for me. I think things would have been a whole lot difficult for me, because he was the one that kept me going. And like I said, man, like, if you have someone that is going through a particular thing and you don't know what people are going through, you really don't. And I think us as men, and I think even females as well, like, just mental health in general, it's not necessarily for men, it's not necessarily for females. Like, if you're going through something, try to reach out. If you're going through your ups and your downs, and from what I heard when the situation is that Mar Marshawn, he, I guess, lost his mom, and he had been kind of dealing with that. And I this is what gets me, when someone that, let's say, you love, passes away. Like, everybody always wants to hit you with that same bullshit that, oh, I know how it is. I know how you feel. Like, if you've never lost someone the way I lost someone, how do you know that? How do you know how that feels? I know how it feels to lose a fiance. I don't know how it feels to lose a mom. I know how it feels to lose a father. I don't know how it feels to lose a sister. I don't know how it feels to lose family members specifically like that. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to death, everything, the grief is always going to be similar. But how could you tell someone that was with someone every single day, loved them, been there with them, and then they lose them, and now you don't have that? How could you sit there and say, "Oh, I know how that feels"? Like, nah, man. Like, you gotta let people talk. You gotta let people express how they feel. You gotta let people express who they are, and let people be who they wanna be. I don't know what goes on in people's life. I always try to be the bigger person. I always try to be the, not better person, but I always try to be the person that is trying to look out for people. Because growing up, I didn't feel like anybody looked out for me. If the people that did look out for me, it was a very small circle. Like, my cousin David, he really looked out for me. My cousin Peabach, he really looked out for me. My best friend Onofre, he looked out for me. I got looked out for people that weren't even like a brother. It wasn't like they weren't even siblings. Like, I had people on the outside looking out for me. And that's what that's where I had to realize that, you know what, like, I might not have like my immediate family there. And this is when I was young. This has nothing to do with me getting older, but I really had to sit back and look at the people that were there for me. So a lot of times when I'm looking out for people, they're not related to me. They're not. I have I might have a work relationship with them. I might come across to them because of a homie I know, but I really try to look out for people. Like I remember I've had people at my place where they had no gas money. I'm over here like, here, man, I give you gas money, like to get to where you got to get to. I look out for people. I have, as I got older, I had Mr. Cabello look out for me, and he kind of taught me this and taught me that, and it's like if I didn't get those lessons as I was continuing to grow, I don't think I'd probably be here. I'd probably be even more crazy because as much as I work, as much time as I'm gone, my day starts at 2 in the morning. I am gone from my place till at least 4. I'm not home. I leave at 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 a.m. I ain't back home till 4:30 p.m. So I'm always on the fucking go. And I always sit back and think like, damn, when am I gonna get my break? When am I gonna be able to be comfortable? When am I gonna be able to be okay? Because I feel like I'm not financially. I feel like I'm still trying to get to where I need to get to. And the people that took their time to sit there and say, you know what? Let me show you a lesson on financials. I I try to take that and I try to embrace that. But like I said, ever since Mr. Cabello, no one has ever pulled me to the side and said, you know what? Let me help you be better. And maybe on the outside, I don't look like I need to be better. People are quick to judge and people are quick to say, oh, well, you have this, you're balling. You have that, you're this. But it's like, and I'm not sitting here and saying that I'm faking it till I make it. Like when I have it, I have it. When I don't, I don't. And I'm very grateful for people that have looked out for me. I'm very grateful that I have not let the situations that I've dealt with put me in that position where I feel that I should be gone. Don't get me wrong, when I lost a very important person in my life, I felt like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be here. And for a very long time, if you go back and listen to my music, for a very long time, I would always say, like, in the next 5 years, I'm gone. I never wanted to see the day that Jigga like passed. My thing was like, he's gonna see me pass. Like I had my niece on my damn, what is it? Damn, I forgot. I forgot. It's like right there at the tip. Pause. She was my niece was my beneficiary, and I told her, I said, all you gotta do is take care of Jigga. You dig? One time, like if it wasn't for my niece Emily, I think I'd probably be a lot worse as well. Because one thing about I took care of my niece Emily when she was a kid. Like I didn't help my sister raise her, but I was there a lot for my niece Emily, and I was also there for Dom a lot. My other nieces and my nephews, I was not there for them as much, and it sucks. But like the relationship I have with like my niece Emily, like she didn't know the life I was living back in the day. She just knew that I was Uncle Ernest. And she just loved being with Uncle Ernest and hanging out with Uncle Ernest. And it's like, I appreciated that. And I remember one time when she got older, and this was like, I was like, it had just after I lost whoever I lost, she had came over and she was going to her dad's. And I remember she wanted to like do some music, so I let her like just play in the studio, whatever, had music going on for her, had the mic on for her, let her, give her opportunity to listen to herself, things of that nature. And I remember the next day, I think I took her, dropped her off, or picked her up, or I think she got picked up. But I remember opening my MacBook, and I remember reading the note that she wrote me. And I don't know the specifics. I took a screenshot of it, and she went into my notes and she literally like wrote me a note, and it was like the 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 context of the message was just like, you're more than who you think you are. You're very important. You matter. That's pretty much what I got from that. And it's little things like that that really kept me going. It's never been the big, let me do this, let me do that. If you look out for me, I look out for you. But even if you don't look out for me, I'm still willing to look out for you. I've done things for people that just told me thank you. And at this particular point in time where I'm at, I feel like time is very important. And if I'm taking my time to do this for you, cool. If I just get a thank you, cool. But I understand that men's mental health is very, very serious. Losing a mom, losing a brother, losing a sister, losing family members, losing your grandma, losing anybody that you love sucks. And it sucks when it sucks even more when men can't even talk about that. And it sucks even more when you've been taught not to talk about it. I remember when my dad's dad passed away. I remember trying hugging him and he was like pushing me away, like keep it moving. And I'm like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, so when my dad passed, like it hit me and it still affects me because I'll never get to see my dad laugh and run and, play with my daughter and have a grandpa, granddaughter time, and the time he was here, I do cherish it. I did take him around when he was in the nursery and home. And to me, I guess it was a little too late, but I do have those memories and I am very proud of it. And as much as I go through and as much as I deal with, I will never sit there and say that I'm going to exit this life. I got a beautiful daughter. I got a beautiful wife. And all I know is fight. All I know is keep going. All I know is I can't give up because I've said it. I tell myself all the time, if I stop what I'm doing, if things are 10 times worse, if things are 10 times bad right now, if I stop what I'm doing, if I stop working, if I quit, if I do this, if I do that, it's going to get 10 times worse. So it's going to be 20 times harder for me to get out of what I'm in. But at the end of the day, I always look at it and I always pray to God because it's a lesson. I feel like everything that I'm going through is a lesson. I feel like the challenges that me and my family face, it's a lesson. But I do talk to my wife. I do talk to people that I know that I could really let this out. Like I'm not a person, and that's why I love my music. I've always loved my music because in my music, I can express how I feel. And people might not understand it in the music, but at the end of the day, that's my therapy right there. I can't afford a therapist right now. You dig? And it's cool for people to lend you their ear. It's cool for people to look out for you. It's cool for people to be right there by your side. It's cool for that. I ain't even gonna lie about that. It's cool. It's it's hard to be in these positions. It's hard, especially now. Like the economy, everything's going up. If what they say now, the 20 making $20 an hour is the new $10 an hour. Like, you know what I mean? Like money's money, but money doesn't mean everything, but money is very important. And people tend to just like brush shit off and like, oh, whatever, they're fine. Oh, whatever, this and that. But really check in on someone, really look at someone, really try to be there for someone. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And like, I know this is a very serious topic. Um, you know, I want to say about a year ago, I had a cousin, and I'm not going to say too much because I actually wanted to have a conversation with her because I did want to talk about that. But I had a cousin, her boyfriend, husband ended up taking himself out. And like I said, I don't know I know what kind of was told to me. And it just sucks to be at that particular point where you say, hey, I'm going to take myself out, you know? To be at that to be at that particular point and to be at that particular road and to be there is fucking scary. It is fucking scary. And I try to sit back and think like, man, what was this person going to trying to understand it, trying to want to understand it. But once you understand it, that could be telling yourself that that's okay. And I never want to sit there and tell myself that that's okay. I never want to sit there and say that it's okay for me to do this and it's okay to go out this way. I I would rather suffer. I would rather go through everything I'm going through and more to make sure that I could be home every day with my family. I I don't talk down on people that have done that or choose to do that. I don't understand it. I will never understand it, and I leave it at that. Um, People get judged. People always want to look down on somebody, especially when they don't understand them. They want to look down, and it's whatever, man. But like I said, mental health is a very, very serious thing. Whether you're a female, whether you're a male, whether you're going through someone, if someone's lending you an ear, you know what, take it. And if lending that ear, shut up. Shut the fuck up and let them talk. Let them talk. And when I say that, I don't say that to be rude. I say that because as soon as someone starts talking, oh, well, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. Maybe you should. No maybes. People are going to feel more comfortable when they could let it out. Because as you're replying to what they're saying, they're going to forget what their thought was. Now it's like, oh, you have them thinking like, well, and now they get frustrated like, man, I should have just kept it to myself, you know? But like I said, if anybody that wants to have a conversation with me, anybody that wants to, talk about this and, get into a deeper conversation, I'm down. I think there might be some people around me that might not want to get into real serious conversations with me. And I've always been looked at as a particular person. And it always surprises people when I'm not what they think I am or not who they think I am. And please check up on people, check up on your friends, check up on your homies, check up on your whatever, check up on your people and look, lend them an ear, be there for them, and just make sure you could show up. And if you can't, cool. And hey, it is what it is, but there's no reason to be having grudges for people that can't show up for you. You know, I understood when Jigga passed away. I understood when a very important passed away. I understood that that was my world. And it might not have been important to other people the way it was important to me. And that's just the way I look at it. It's not a bad thing. It's not a this thing. It's not that thing. It's just that's the way life is. And I understand that. Now I understand that. Before I didn't. You dig? But just take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. Take care of what you got to take care of for yourself. Before I do go, I do want to have a moment of silence for Marshawn Nealon. I appreciate everybody. This is 100 Hours Club. I am Nesto P. Y'all.